How you guys doing? My name is Anthony Collins.
This your boy Nate B.
Yes, sir, and welcome to this weekend safety brief. We're doing it again. We're back at it.
Again and again.
Ooh, this week we're
Every
not going to be talking
weekend.
about sports, though, sadly.
I know
We
y'all
know them
want it.
dogs need their appreciation.
Yes, sir. Every week.
But we're
every
moving
day,
forward.
Every hour. Every second.
Oh,
I ain't,
Lord.
bro. What am I saying?
Oh, my Lord.
What am I saying?
Why don't you do this more often? That's what I want to say.
Go
But
dog.
to get into it, go dogs. But to get into it, today we're talking about household responsibilities. And what I mean by that is what is expected of you when living within a family structure inside of a house. So let's just say you're married
Right.
and you got kids.
Mm-hmm.
What is your responsibility in the household?
Now, are you saying as a stay home household person or
Are you the one that
altogether
works or
and
the
all-
one that stays at home?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about both.
Okay.
All right. But to I guess get to the generalization of this topic. Overall, what we're trying to talk about is one's personal duty to the household.
Oh, okay.
That's inside the house. What is your duty inside the house? Not, are you the
Like,
one going to
alright.
get the money?
Right.
Or are you the one paying
Duty
the bills?
inside.
No.
Okay.
Your duty's inside the house.
All right. So, me personally, coming from like an old house thinking where my mom and dad did things differently. I guess my dad was the stay home person, so he did the cleaning, the cooking, the fixing up in the house, every single thing you can think of in the household. My mom didn't do much. She was the breadwinner of the family. So I mean, in that house, since with my dad, that's how I grew up watching him cook, clean, fixing everything
Yeah.
in the house. Fixing the cars, fixing leakage, pipe leakage breaks. He'll go fix it himself. The house is dirty. He'll clean up from top to bottom, clean up the whole house. Let's see, meal every day on the table by 6. Something I don't know, something breaks in the house. He's got it. Everything's fixed. You know what I'm saying? Everything taken care of in the house.
Yes, sir.
But when I got married, you know what I'm saying? We split.
Totally
that.
different story.
It's totally different.
Totally different story.
It is a totally different story. Cause
Lord.
I'm not gonna be for one. I am the breadwinner in the family. You know,
Breadwinner. I don't like that saying breadwinner, but keep going.
I'm sorry, Well, I'm the one who makes the money in the house. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
I knew what you meant.
You know what I'm saying?
I knew what you meant. I was just making a comment. But go ahead.
But, yeah, you know. And then so we try to split everything. She does the cleaning, the cooking. Sometimes she'll, she's there to watch the kids and stuff like that and everything. But if something breaks in the house, I'm fixing it. You know, I'm the one who hangs up the pictures. Something needs to be hammered or something. Yeah, she wants to try to do it, but most of the time she ends up hurting herself. So I'm like, I'll do it myself. I'll fix everything in the house. I'll help you clean. I'll help you cook. If you're tired, I'll help you cook. If you just don't feel like cooking, I'll just help you cook. I'll help you wash your kids and everything. So therefore, technically, I'm still doing what my dad did, but he did all of it.
Yeah.
We're splitting it. You know.
Okay. So then let me talk about my background.
Mm-hmm.
My background, as you know, I have a younger brother
Right.
and I have an older brother. So early on, what it was like for me was, both my parents being in the military and all. It's hard to explain because a lot of people, when they think, parents in the military, they think, active duty parents. My parents weren't active duty.
Right.
All right, so they were reserves at first before, going overseas for these 2 wars. So what I mostly remember being younger is, either my mom had a job, my dad had a job, or both of them had a job at the same time. Most of the time, it was just me, my younger brother, my older brother. They were out doing what they needed to do. We were at home with our brother, not listening to him. but for the most part, my parents both taught us how to cook, taught us how to clean, and they expected the house to be a certain way.
Right.
And they also expected, if we cooked, food to be a certain thing or a certain way, so you had those situations. So for me, afterwards, you know, at one point when my dad was overseas, it was just me and my older brother had moved out and went into the military himself. It was just me and my younger brother. So you know, it was me, my mom, my younger brother is you know a certain way at home, and then when it was my dad, it was me, my younger brother, my dad.
Right.
So you know those two different things, and then that's when you really realize on both sides the differences in parenting, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, to me, they always kept both of them kept it where you knew the basics. The basic was you kept the house clean,
Hmm.
and at a certain point, you know, as we got older, is if you're hungry, you make sure you eat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Unless it was like food that was meant for a meal, I guess. Again, I'm guessing because a lot of
Right.
stuff I did have to guess. You know, if there was like, you know, stuff in there to make a singular person a meal, like, oh, well, we have taquitos.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to cook a whole thing of taquitos, but like, I'm cooking this for dinner. No, you'd be like, for dinner tonight, I'm eating taquitos. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm eating tonight by
Right.
myself. And you got to fend for yourself, whoever else is in the house.
That's how it be sometimes.
Or, but if I'm like, let's say there's a turkey, this is extreme, but like there's a turkey in the fridge, and I'm gonna cook it because I want turkey. Well, I'm cooking for the whole family because
Of
that's a
course, you're
family
not
meal.
gonna eat a big old
Yeah,
turkey by
well, that's my
yourself.
point. So you know, but you had those situations. Sometimes you have food ready. Sometimes
Yeah.
you be the one cooking. Sometimes, so that's how I really live my life. So once I get into this situation of family life, I've always looked at it like whoever's at home. First off, the kids ain't the ones that are responsible until they're old enough to be
Of course.
responsible for
Exactly.
themselves. So this ain't talking about little kids. Oh, if there's no, if mommy and daddy didn't cook tonight,
I got a
they,
question. I got a question regarding that, but you know we'll get to it. I'll get to it.
oh, then you know, if mommy and daddy didn't cook tonight, the 4-year-old has to cook for himself.
Mhm.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking
That's
about.
what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about the fact, you know, if it's the parents
Right.
or the person that is I can't say lead because to me leading a household takes the people who are the most responsible and supposed to be the most responsible people in the house are the grown adults.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You would
Those are
think.
supposed to be the responsible people. So I kind of thought of it like that, I guess, as a kid.
Yeah.
Was like, who was the grown adult in the house? You know, if we don't have food in the fridge, it's not my kid's fault. It's my fault.
Right.
You know, so when it comes to being eaten, and I know there's no food in the fridge, I'm not going to say, oh, well, you better go find something to eat. Or, oh, so you have some friends somewhere that's going to feed you. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying,
Yeah.
you know, so when I'm looking at that situation, but also we're talking about who's taking care of the house.
Right.
Who's doing this. For instance, growing up, I had to do dishes all the dang time.
Of course.
I
Man.
got tired of it.
Yeah.
I got older. I talked to my wife. I told her that I don't like doing dishes. She don't like doing dishes either, but she knows my history with the dishes. You know my history with dishes and how my parents treated me with dishes. So the thing is you know, if you was on that level of, to be fair, say discipline. Let's just leave it at that. Of how meticulously the dishes had to be cleaned in my house when I was younger, you would understand why you wouldn't want to do dishes, right?
Right.
But you still do dishes if you have to. It's not like, oh, I'm never doing dishes again. Even though I wish I could. But again, I understand if something needs to be done, it has to be done.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who it is. So we go back to the thing, you know, there's a lot of people that don't know how to cook for themselves. Cook. But if you don't know how to cook for yourself, at least you should know how to clean up after yourself.
Yeah.
And that's where my pet peeve is. I hate having to clean up after everybody.
After you just cook.
As you just, well, I always put it like this: if you're gonna task someone with the hassle, because it is a hassle to have to cook for more than 2 people.
Right.
It's a hassle because you know I remember back in the day before the kids came, you know you cook, you wash those dishes, and then you clean. I mean you use those. Then you know feed yourself. You wash those dishes. You're done. You didn't have that much. I mean you're dealing with two fakes. What the heck? 2 plates, 2 forks, 2 glasses, maybe a knife or 2, depending on the situation, you know, steaks, whatever. And that's what you're cleaning up as far as dishes go. And then, you know, like I said, you know, cooking utensils, everything like that. But then when it comes to cooking for a family, you know, That's upwards, like for me, upwards, and for you, up to 4 plates, 4 forks, 4
Yeah.
spoons, whatever it may be.
4 cups.
4 cups, and then you're eating 2 meals a day, at least 2 meals a day at home. That's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And you know, if you're one of these people that wait until like I'm gonna do this at the end of the day, that's a lot of dishes.
There's a lot of dishes.
It's 4 times 3
Uh-huh.
for a 4 pack, right? So
That's not even including the pans.
then that's not including the cooking stuff. And then when it comes to cooking certain things for certain family, it was always like this. This is what my parents told me. And when I say my parents, it's because my mother said it and my dad just said, yeah, that's how it's going to be. So it was pretty much like this. If you don't like what I cook, then you don't have to eat it.
All right? I was raised on the same thing.
You know what I'm saying? So if you didn't like what you cooked, yeah, you don't have to eat it.
But I ain't cooking anything
under 2 conditions. One, either you're going to make food for yourself that's not wasting. And I mean like not cooking a whole nother meal. 2, you compromise and ask, well, can you at least do this? I said 2 things, but it's actually 3. And the third one is you just don't eat.
You starved?
You starving tonight, okay? You don't want to eat it? Okay, that's good. And I was also taught if I was the one tasked with cooking, you're gonna eat what I cook.
I think that's how I learned how to cook.
Yeah, because I wanted certain things to eat.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to cook this. And if you don't like it, you don't have to eat it. And then it sounds, I hope it doesn't sound disrespectful. To me, it sounds disrespectful, but, the rules apply to my parents, too. I wasn't about to go cook. My mom sometimes would be like, hey, can you at least cook this? No, I can't. Last time I checked, you raised me. You eat what I cook. And when I come over to your house and you cook something, guess what? I eat it.
That's how.
Even though there's some stuff, I'm like, why you eating it?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nah, that's how I be for. I was raised on that same talk. Where my dad be in the kitchen, I tell him he knows for a fact. For one, there's 2 things I can't eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't stand the smell, I guess you can say, of tuna.
And you love mayo.
No,
what I want to do is before we keep going, I'm gonna get you some ketchup, some mayo, European style.
Nah,
and then we're gonna mix that with a little bit of tuna.
That's disgusting. I don't know who's eating something like that. I don't know who's eating something like that.
Just you, because I'm making it just for you. I'll make you a nice little tuna casserole.
Nah, bro.
With chopped up tomatoes in it.
Heck nah.
I know you like tomatoes.
I know I like tomatoes, but I don't eat no tuna casserole.
That's what I'm gonna make you, and you're gonna enjoy it. Because tonight, that's what you eat.
I'll thank you for the gift, but I probably won't eat it. I'll let you know. But there's 2 things that we mainly had in our household because it's cheap: tuna and mayo. My dad always made tuna sandwiches. He'd make fried tuna, fry the tuna, and then put it in the mayo on the bread. And he'll I think the reason I don't like mayo is because he'll throw a thick slab.
You see, that's the problem with people with mayo. They think that you need it like it's like jelly or something. And I'm like, okay, I can understand. The point of mayo for me is you got a sandwich, you got a dry sandwich,
right?
That's that's like the lubricant of the sandwich.
Yeah.
You put a little mayo on the top. Keep it. Or if you're making a nice grilled cheese, you mayo gang on that, right? I mean, butter's good too, but you gotta watch the butter.
I like doing mayo too. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up, as I got older, I could slowly eat mayo again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I am not
you're traumatized though.
From tuna. I cannot eat it.
Oh my lord.
But so when he was in the kitchen, he made either tuna salad or a tuna sandwich. He'll literally say, "Well, I guess you're not gonna eat tonight." Like, apparently you weren't thinking of me when I literally tell you. I tell you I don't eat tuna.
See, to me, and I like that you brought that point up because he's like, I guess you're not going to eat tonight, because that was one of the points I was going to say too. I think that here's the thing: you're going to have kids, little ones, that ain't going to want to eat what they give them, no matter what it is. They're just not going to want to eat it. So to say that you can't eat tonight because of it, that's wrong to me. But if you're an older and you can make your own food, and I don't have to do it.
I think I was like 16, so I'm like,
you can make your own food. So I would be like, you know what? I guess then you ain't eating what I'm doing, and I would be like, but you ain't gonna touch this, and this, and you can have whatever else you want to make. Go get your bowl of cereal or something, because you know what?
Yeah, I think growing up, he did, he cook like certain things. Like he'll have like a whole meal, right?
Yeah.
And I eat everything but the tuna. That's where. So I mean, there's other stuff, but at a certain point, I'm like, okay, I would like some meat or some type chicken, steak, something to eat. I don't want tuna, but I guess I'm gonna have to go in there and cook it myself.
There you go.
At that answer,
there
that's literally he'll say. Either you're not gonna eat or you're gonna starve. That's what he'll say.
I think you're gonna starve.
That's what he'll say. I'm not gonna starve.
I think you're.
There's something in there that I'll eat. You know what I'm saying? Like
like a carrot.
Yeah, something. There's something in there.
I remember I used to come over to your house back in the day.
Yeah.
And y'all be eating or something, and y'all be like, you want some or something to eat? And I'm like, no, you don't have to offer me food every time. You remember that?
Yeah.
But you being nice, but here's the thing. If I was going to eat, I would cook something and ate it before I came.
That's true. I mean, but we're raised.
But you're also forgetting the situation. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Do you remember the situation of back in the day? When I used to come over to your house. Be late at night, one thing, and I'm like, "What the heck are y'all eating this late at night?" It'd be Nick in the kitchen cooking up some concoction, talking about I'm a chef.
Hey,
and I'm like,
we just making sure that you wanted to eat.
Hey, and then sometimes I'll be. What would get me is sometimes I'll say yeah to Nick. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take some of your food. Yeah.
No, thanks.
And then I'll be like, and then you give me a plate. I'm like, bro, first off, like it'd be random stuff, dude. Nick would give me such random items. I'm like, how do you this is not a meal. This is like a selection from a buffet. Like, oh, I saw pizza at the Chinese restaurant, so you got a side of, orange chicken and pepperoni pizza next to each other. That's a weird combination. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what I meant. I was just thinking about it. That just came up in my head. I was like,
nice people. Well,
I'm not saying it's not nice. It's nice, but it's weird when it's like a weird selection. Nick, I should have. So we realized that at the end of our video, we didn't get all the footage that we had originally recorded. So what we're going to do is we're going to add this at the end and then tell you,
we're sorry.
We're sorry. Basically, what we said was, if you're at home, accountability is your responsibility. So stay accountable, stay responsible, and do you. And I'll do me. If you like what you heard, we do have the full podcast on Anchor FM and anywhere else you can find, podcasts. So go ahead and just go check that out if you want to hear the rest of the podcast. And thank you for being so kind.